day and welcome to the Namibia Annual Sport Expo. I'm your host Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. Today I will be joined by several sport administrators from different sport federations who will be sharing their views on their federations. Good day and welcome to the Expo. I'm your host Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, and I'm not alone in studio. I'm joined by Namibia Hockey Union President, Master Reagon Graig. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Of course, let me take you into it. Let's say Jessica, take it away. I'm going to take it away right now. Okay. Mr. Graig, could you just explain about management and who is in the management of the Hockey Union? I'm sure we know, may his soul rest in peace, Mr. Marknell passed away due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Would you just explain to us who has taken over? I'm sure US President has taken over, and the rest of the structure.
No, thank you, Jesse. My name, like you said, is Reagon Graig. I've been appointed as the president of the Namibia Hockey Union. I've just been about a month in the role, so it's quite fresh. However, I have been involved with hockey for the better part of 30 years. Started in 1989, played for St. Paul's College back then, played for a club called Pirates, and that's where the first time I actually met Mark. So Mark, the previous president, was a mentor to me, and just in terms of the big shoes that I've got to fill, it's an honor, and I also realize how much how much work it is in order to do this. But I'm not alone. I've got an Exco, and within the Exco, I've got a team of additional 5 people that help me just in the organizational management of the Namibia Hockey Union. We as a sports union is affiliated to the African Hockey Federation and also the FIH, which is the Federation International de Hockey. So those are the international bodies that we belong to. But in Namibia, we are, under the auspices of the Namibia Sports Commission. We are also a member under the Olympic Committee. And we've got relationships with the NSSU. So the Namibia School Sports Union is also a partner of us because of a lot of our kids that are coming through the development programs. We work very closely with them.
Okay. So there is an executive, right?
Yes.
And a secretary general as well in the structures.
So we don't have as such a secretary general. We've got a secretary. So it's a general executive where we've got various portfolios that everyone takes care of. So from the major positions is the president. We've got 2 vice presidents. We've got a secretary. We've got our treasurer that takes care of our finances. And then we've got various portfolios. So we've got a tours portfolio, we've got a leagues portfolio, we've got umpires, and then we've got a player representative, Ms. Maggie Mengo, which we'll chat to a little bit later as well. She's also on the Exco, and she's very involved not only in playing and leading our national ladies team, but she's also assisting with a lot of our administrative duties, and she's quite passionate in assisting us with sponsorship.
Okay, Mr. Graig, you spoke about 30 years ago. I remember well you said 1989. But I would like to know about the history. Just give me a bit of history about the Namibia Hockey Union and hockey itself.
Okay. So I will not admit to know the beginnings of hockey. I should actually research that. But when I started playing hockey, we played with hockey sticks that looked like a walking stick with a long, these days, if I look at the carbon fiber and, if you look at the youngsters these days, there's so much technology that has come into hockey these days. But I was involved in the 1980s, and what I can trace back, one of the first president of the Namibia Hockey Union, Doc Jabba. So Doc Jabba is, when I started playing, he was the president. So my memory goes back to those days.
So he's named after the hockey field.
That's correct. That's correct. But that was still in the olden days before we were called Namibia. So we were established before independence, and since independence, I think we've flourished. As all sports codes in Namibia, from a funding perspective, from a facility perspective, we've gone through our ups and downs. But I think the new crop of players is really making us proud. And we as administrators, my role is just to form that environment and provide the resources.
That takes me into the next question, Mr. Graig. You just recently appointed, and as a former hockey player yourself, I'm sure you have a number of plans towards development and all that. Can you just outline them for me?
Yeah. So I think if anybody wants to get into my mind or into the heart of what the NHU or hockey is doing, our motto is that we put the athlete at the center of everything. If we make sure that the athlete is nurtured through our development programs, through nurturing the talent from schools until you play for the national teams, if we provide all that type of support structures, we feel that our union will be quite a healthy union. But that doesn't just, so there are various facets. I've kind of looked at 5 areas which I think is quite important. At the moment, one of our immediate things that we need to do is provide a home for hockey. So from a facilities perspective, the rest of the world, and in Namibia, we've got AstroTurfs, but as the Namibia Hockey Union, some of the AstroTurfs are at the schools or in private hands, so to speak. But as a union, we're looking for funding to put up a home of hockey, which is an AstroTurf, an indoor facility at the Doc Jobber Fields. So that's important. Then, we are a public institution, so we have to be governed appropriately. And we have to have a well-run organization. If that happens, we are able to partner with sponsors or with anyone else that actually wants to get involved in our sport. So for me, that's one thing that we pride ourselves in and that we have to really concentrate on. Then, not a lot of Namibians know about hockey, relatively speaking. And it is also our fault in a big sense that we haven't, passionately started the game in all the regions. But that is why our development programs that we have at the moment, and we've got a big program on at the moment that is going to go to all the regions and start developing hockey. But we need to promote that positive image of hockey. With our ladies going to the World Cup in February 2022, all of our players' names and the fact that, I want Namibians to know who's Maggie Mengo. That's our national captain. I want people to know when the times are that we play, because we must all get behind our national players, and they're going to bring back a medal. I'm going to. You're very confident. They are training so hard, and just for where they've come to already. I am super proud.
Okay, Mr. Graig, just to cut you short, in terms of development, we know that schools plays a major role as far as development is concerned. And in order to have a future, you have to go back into the schools and to get the next Maggie Mangos and all that. Sorry for that.
No.
But I would like to know what's the hockey union's role in as far as approaching or going into schools. And we have schools, mind you, the remote areas, and as you said, as you alluded to earlier about the awareness. So what's the hockey union doing in terms of that?
So first of all, I'm going to speak about what we've been doing, and then in my short little run as the president, I had an engagement with Solly Dacre, the head of the NSSU. I've got a meeting actually straight after this with the KSSR, which is the Commerce Schools Sport. It's a regional body that runs the school sport. So taking you to understand the development of how I see this thing progressing. From the kiddies, which are in primary schools, to the secondary school, where you've got under 16s, under 18s, under 21s. Our under 21s were actually invited to play against the South African side now in October, but for reasons around COVID and the school exams and the like, so it's difficult for us to participate. But ultimately, developing all of those skills and nurturing that, we can get to a great national team. So I'm concurring with what you've said. In terms of what we can do for the NSSU and schools, I have offered our support in terms of coaching, in terms of umpiring, in terms of facilities, in terms of assisting with the leagues. So there's a big administrative function that needs to happen, and I think as the NHU, we can assist with that. And also as the NHU, we've got contacts to a lot of international bodies. So, something like hockey sticks, hockey balls, through the NHU, we can collect all of that and distribute it to all the schools. So in terms of our development stance, the NHU on its own has a view on how we need to develop all these various coaches, umpires, players at youth in all of the regions. But we depend on our clubs, like School of Excellence that Irvin Andura runs, like the PSI and the Saints Initiative, where they've got a massive development program. Like at DTS, they've actually got a coach with Cedric that focuses strictly on development, and we coordinate all of that. And we create, we need quarterly reports to see how many students have we reached, how many regions have we reached, and we then encourage and try and assist with endorsing, so that we can actually get funding into those bodies, so that we can reach all the regions. And me myself personally, I've committed to, especially in the north.
All right.
So especially, I've visited Ndangwa, I've visited Rundu, Caprivi. What's quite useful is, when I started playing hockey, we played on these gravel fields. In Reagon, there was this wonderful, flat, hard gravel. And in the north, when I see the kids play on these soccer fields in the dust, now that's actually ideal for hockey. Because you've got a flat, hard surface that you can push the ball. Obviously, we're going to try and improve the facilities. But for now, that's
and
what
Mr. Graig, in terms of corporate Namibia, we do need corporate Namibia. You spoke of getting the youth involved and all that. And of course, we have to laud Standard Bank. I saw the initiative with the School of Excellence Hockey. But what word of encouragement would you give out to more companies to come on board and actually support this cause?
So I think I've mentioned earlier that I think corporates can know that we pride ourselves in being a well-run, well-governed institution. So their goals and their visions for why they support us, we will ensure that their resources goes to that end. We have various areas that we need support. We need support in when our players go to travel, like for example to the World Cup now. We need support to run our leagues. We need support for development. The idea behind all of this is that anybody who plays hockey, we must make sure that the cost for participation in hockey is as low as possible. I don't want anybody to be discouraged to participate in hockey because of the cost of hockey. And that's what we call on all corporates. Sit with us. We'll make sure that it's a win-win situation. There'll be branding and there'll be success. As you can see that we're going to a very successful phase now.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Graig.
Thank you.
I'm sure Ms. Mango will also highlight a bit more in terms of the success stories and highlights.
100%. Thank you, Jesse.
All right. Now I'm joined by a legend, a hockey legend, Ms. Mango. Maggie Mango, welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, you are part of the success stories, and I would like to hear more from you about the success stories of Namibian hockey. Some that you could remember and some that you can actually relate to as well. Can you just share with us some of the success stories of the Namibian Hockey Union and hockey itself?
I think how hockey has transformed over the years, it's phenomenal in such a, it feels like a short period, but it has been years. I remember when I started playing hockey, me personally, I started playing on grass, high grass, like kettles could eat from it, really. But it was phenomenal because I'm actually grateful that I started playing hockey there, because it actually nurtured me in such a way that my skills were so flawless on a smoother pitch than, because it was the hard way. We learned it the hard way, So it was nice when I started playing hockey, or when I got introduced to hockey in Namibia. It was development everywhere, and playing against schools from regions. It was phenomenal to just see a lot of kids running behind the ball. And over the years, how hockey has actually transformed from just this hobby type of sport to this professional setup, and able to compete and not just participate. I mean, when we went, yes, and I mean, when we went to the 99 All Africa Games, was my debut in the national, senior national team. We were just there we were grateful to be part of them, and we were participating. I remember some scores were like 9-0, 7-0. And yeah, we would go out at every game and just be present, represent our country, but with the aim of improving for the next tournament. But now we go out there to end in the top, or bring the trophy home. So it's phenomenal how it has transformed, and how athletes have actually changed the way on how they actually see and come to practice. It's about like everybody's putting in effort to really to compete for a position to be in the team. So amazing.
The hockey women's team has qualified to the World Cup. I'm sure it's a big success story. And before that, can you just share maybe a few of the successes that even the males team has enjoyed?
Our national teams, let me rather keep to the seniors for now. Female, I think from underdog to top dog, let me put it that way, to the dog that everybody wants to beat, especially on the African continent. I remember when we went to the World Cup, the previous World Cup, we also went, it's our second qualification to the World Cup. We entered there as a team that nobody knew, like, but then you could see how that stadium has actually transformed to cheer for Namibia, and every team that walked on court, they would be like, let's not underestimate this team, and we really went out there, we competed. It's unfortunate that we lost out at quarterfinals, and our men has also, it's a very young team, talented young team, very ambitious, and I think in the next qualifier that they just lost out for World Cup qualification, but I know that they deserve to be there as well. They've done very well. They have a very talented winning team. I'm calling them because they have a winning mindset, winning spirit, winning characteristics. So it's unfortunate that we both cannot go and represent Africa there, but I know certainly,
they have done. Well, you have been part of the hockey union and part of hockey. Hockey is your life, one may say. So I would like to hear from you in terms of development. I'm sure Mr. Graig alluded to some of the latest development programs, but I would like to hear from you how it has been the process from this, like, let's say 5 years ago, and looking at the structures now. Would you say what kind of development has there been?
So there have been development in certain regions. I know, like, for example, the South has been part of the development program, and when I say the South, it's Marintal, and I know Ludritz, there has been development done, but I think it's just how we completed it was not, because there were a lot of obstacles that we had to face as a union as well. But looking at way forward now, I think the whole strategy around development is a top priority. And you see, I'm one of the players who came from a development program actually, who is in the national team, the only development program player, and from the development programs that has been running. But the priorities there, recently, I know K5 has been doing great development for Namibia as well from an indoor point of view. And recently, the School of Excellence has just announced a sponsorship to really do development in all 14 regions, where you should certainly find other Magis out there, or other Siyabongas, or any other player out there as well, and who is gonna get exposed to hockey.
Maybe there's a lot of people out there who do not know where to go or what to do if they want to become hockey players, who to reach out to. What are the processes, especially when you are sitting at home and you want to become a hockey star, or you have a hockey team, you want to register somewhere, What do you do?
Yeah, the Namibia Hockey Union, they have a website and they have social media platforms, and all the information are out there. We have a phenomenal lady running the websites, and the contact details are out there. So Janine van der Merwe, she will take you through the process as the communications and social media person for the union, and she will take you through it all. And if you have a club, why not reach her? She will guide you through the process and the procedures out there. So it's as easy as that. The Namibia Hockey Union, it's called.
Well, thank you for gracing us with your presence, Maggie. We wish you all the best of luck, especially ahead. You have a huge task, a mammoth task ahead, and that's the World Cup. So good luck. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, NMH.
All right. From me, Jesse Jackson Carrizer, it's ciao.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts.
Just like that.
Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?